Little in studio producing today. You're listening to ESPN Arkansas, hitthatline.com, and the Hit That Line Now app. Good morning, Matt Jones. I made it to Memphis a little bit later than expected, but there's no reason to feel tired today. It's a football game day. It's the last time that'll happen for Arkansas this year, and I'm pretty excited to see what I expect to be a high-scoring football game tonight.
Yeah, it's Red Raider week. Texas Tech meeting up there in Memphis. How fun is it? It's a reward. It's a celebration. You earn the right to play in a bowl game, and we can talk about how long are they going to keep up this pattern as far as how long are you going to still have these bowl games or whatever, and changes need to be made. But it's another opportunity to go out there and represent the Hogs and play the game of football.
That's right. It's about opportunity. I think you'd said that word quite a couple of times there. That's one thing Sam Pittman hit on yesterday at the pregame press conference with Joey McGuire from Texas Tech. And I mean, it's you got to forget about who's not here right now. You got to forget about, for the time being, who has jumped into the portal and who has decided to go to Arkansas out of the portal, because right now it's all about who you got on the team right now. It's like a one-game season and a chance to in front of a national audience on a game where I think there's 5 bowl games put on the show. Saw the over-under is 50. Did I see 52 on BetSarazen the last time I looked? 53.5. 52, that is. I'd say over, man. I think you're going to have a high-scoring game like the last time we were here. Heck, the last time we were here, nearly both teams scored 52 points themselves. Much different situation, though, in this time. I wish I would have been able to be at some of the the pregame stuff with the parade yesterday downtown here, and going to the Grizzlies game and everything. This is a nice destination city to have a bowl game in. I know Coach Pittman said this was the one that we had zeroed in on if we were looking at the group of 6 bowls in the SEC. I'm a big fan of Memphis. But this is a little bit of an in and out. Have you ever been to this Bass Pro, Matt? Or did you ever come into this building when it was a basketball arena, the old pyramid?
There was a Hilton there, right there by the FedEx Forum. And Memphis being a straight shot, whether to Jacksonville, Fort Smith. I mean, it's easy to get to Memphis, so I spent a lot of time in Memphis. Man, Memphis is fun. There's always something to do. Great food, great music. A couple good golf courses. I like Memphis.
Yeah, I do too. Are you dry or wet ribs? That was what Sam Pittman was asked yesterday. And I'd say, why are you forcing me to choose here? I mean, I can go with both of them. As long as the meat is cooked, I think I'll go with it. But is there a wrong answer to that question? Does it matter?
Man, what 12 hours smoked them? Man, that sounds like you know what you're doing.
Yeah. Well, this big Cypress Lodge also is just a unique facility for a hotel. I mean, it's inside the building. It's inside the pyramid, and most of the rooms have windows that open indoor to the store. And they've got the Sky High ride, which is, as I was told, the country's tallest freestanding elevator. It's right in the middle of the store, and it's as tall as the Statue of Liberty. You can get to the top. There's a balcony up there, and I got one ticket to the Sky High ride to give away if somebody walks in at some point. Ty handed me this when I walked in. I think this is for me to use, but I'm not going to have time to do that. Could have done the show up there if I had planned ahead. That would have been fun. I don't know. I don't remember how tall the Statue of Liberty is, but that'd be pretty cool to do a show all the way up there. And I've been inside this building not when it was a basketball arena, but I learned something. I'd forgotten about this because I remember the fight. Lennox Lewis and Mike Tyson. Back when Tyson was a real boxer. This was when it was still a sports arena. This building is the last place that Tyson fought for a title and was knocked out by Lewis. So I'd forgotten about that. Not just a great music venue, but also, from Tigers basketball, from the Memphis Grizzlies, and from Mike Tyson getting knocked on his keister by Lennox Lewis a few times. So I'm told there will be about 6,000 to 7,000 people that will walk in front of us at any point during the show today. So it's just a little bit different than usual. And we've got altered programming, of course, today on ESPN Arkansas. Our show, to usually 3 hours, is going up until just 1 o'clock. Ruskin and Zach will have a 2-hour show from 1 to 3. That's when we'll get going with the Learfield pregame from Simmons Bank Liberty Bowl Stadium, the official title of it. And of course, the Liberty Bowl is officially called the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. So I guess you're supposed to throw in your bowl sponsors when it comes right down to it. I did a lot of traveling yesterday after the show, Matt, so I wasn't able to watch any of the games. It didn't look like I missed anything exciting in terms of the Thursday night NFL game. It's one of 2 games all year that didn't involve a touchdown, 6-3. And then the bowl game I went to last year, which now is the Above Game Bowl, or I think I said the name wrong. Pitt and Toledo went to 6 overtimes. So now you're starting to get, multiple games a day. There were 3 games yesterday. They were all close. They were all high scoring. And that's really, what you want to see. Want to see a good game.
It's really a double.
The same thing today.
A double overtime plus 4. It's like a way to, because you play 2 overtimes and then you just a one play scenario. But man, Boxing Day put it on yesterday. Liverpool 3-1. Chelsea took an L. That's big time right there. You get a couple more games today. So soccer is in the air.
So Christmas Day is big for NBA basketball and now for the NFL. You can basically book it moving forward, and I'll plan ahead and look ahead and see what day of the week Christmas is next year. So Boxing Day is a soccer day, correct? Normally, is that a tradition?
They had 9 games yesterday.
Wow.
So 18 teams were in action, and then you get a couple more games today.
Well, Christmas next year is a Thursday, so that's now become a traditional football day for NFL, so there's nothing to worry about as far as that's concerned. Halftime will be, again, just 2 hours. We'll have Neil Atkinson from BetSaras, and we'll get a look at, all the opportunities you have as far as bowl season is concerned. And there are 5 bowl games today for those who are interested. And if you're listening to a college sports-oriented show, you're probably interested in at least putting some of these games on. Already have the Armed Forces Bowl going on. Oklahoma and Navy are underway. The game that leads into the Razorbacks and Red Raiders is the Birmingham Bowl with Georgia Tech and Vanderbilt. 2:30 kickoff about an hour after we get going. Game on Fox is Syracuse and Washington State. The Holiday Bowl in San Diego, and then you wrap it up with USC and Texas A&M in the Las Vegas Bowl. Friday football, and it kind of feels like it is postseason, so it's almost like that first day of the NCAA tournament where it's morning to night basketball. It's just that everybody's season in this case ends today. So, man, I don't know how many times you can say it. If you're a person that kind of poo-poos the bowl games at this point, this is a chance to go into the offseason with a win over a Power 5 team. Matt, you pointed out quite a few times Arkansas didn't beat a team that went to a bowl game last year. You look at the teams that they beat this season. Louisiana Tech got to go to a bowl game because the team that originally was going to the Independence Bowl, Marshall, opted out. They had too many players that were in the portal and opt-outs themselves. So the one team Arkansas beat that actually really qualified for a bowl game this year would be Tennessee. And now you get one that obviously qualified for one in Texas Tech, so why not go into the offseason with a win over a Power 5 bowl-eligible team that actually had a pretty good season at 8-4. So that's the way you want to go into this offseason, no doubt about that. And even if you lose this game, I don't know if it necessarily means anything negative about the next few months. But I think you'd love to see a great performance by Taylon Green. And, Matt, I kind of think, there's a lot of opt-outs and guys that went into the portal from the offensive side. But you got your quarterback. And somebody that the team has been looking to throughout the season. Will Hammond will start for Texas Tech instead of Baron Morton, who's out with a shoulder injury. And I expect to see a lot of points today, but I also expect Arkansas's got a little bit of an edge because they have their quarterback, the guy that's been there for every single start this year. And I think at this point of the season, that definitely has to mean something.
Yeah, to one of the things, see if you can, remedy the turnovers. I mean, that's kind of one of the things that kind of was our Achilles heel this year. Maybe, I thought for the most part they played pretty smart. We didn't hurt ourselves with a lot of penalties this year. But it was the amount of times we put the ball on the turf it's just too much. So hopefully they can do that and play fast and play clean and get a dub. You're right.
We'll take a lot of calls. We'll get some texts as we go throughout the show. The number, of course, is 877-377-6963. We'll break and visit with Aaron Torres right after this. Stay with us.
The only green I like's in my quarterback, and that's Talon.
This is halftime. The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Kraft.
Now, that's the greatest joys in life is when you get something awesome you don't expect. That's the greatest joys in life.
Like unplanned pregnancies. Those are joys.
That really wasn't what I was. No, I wasn't really going down that.
That's what I was thinking.
What am I going to do with you? Turn his mic off. Just turn his mic off. Just turn it off. Turn it off. Who's the boss around here? Turn it off.
Weekdays from 9 to 11, only on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com. ESPN 95.3 is live on location.
Big C coming to you live from Harry Robinson, Buick GMC, exit 11 I-540 in Fort Smith through January 1st. They have got some great deals going on for you. Over 300 vehicles to choose from. Cars, trucks, vans, SUVs. I'm telling you, they pride themselves on having variety and a lot of options to choose from. Come test drive a vehicle. You won't be disappointed. You'll find something you like. They've got $1,500 trade assistance on every vehicle on the lot. That's new or used. State sales tax paid on their used inventory. Vehicles as low as $9,995 and no payments for 90 days. Get by here right now. They always give you more for your trade as well if you're looking to go that route. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. You can always go online at harryrobinson.com.
'Tis the season for Hardee's handcrafted goodness. Made from scratch buttermilk biscuits pulled fresh from the oven. The return of special traditions like salty sweet candied bacon. And faithful friends like Hardee's cinnamon raisin biscuits gathered near to us and served all day, all season long. From icing drizzled biscuits to savory charbroiled burgers, unwrap the holiday goodness of Hardee's. And now enjoy breakfast till noon. Available for limited time at participating locations. Items may vary.
Waldron Wave Rural Connect. Internet is now available in your area. Fast fiber internet and full-featured home phone are ready for you. This covers areas around Waldron, Bates, Winfield, Y-City, and more. Check out your address online today. The best whole home solution of internet and phone, all from a local provider you can trust. Order online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
The best mornings start with Wrangler. Jeans, jackets, and shirts that get your day started on the right foot. Good mornings make for better days. Wrangler, for the ride of life.
Dozy Place has now been serving award-winning steaks for over 20 years. Celebrate your special birthday, holiday, person, or just because at Dozy Place. Start with delicious appetizers and your choice of drinks from the largest selection of wines, beer, and liquor in the River Valley. Dozy Place is open Tuesday through Thursday 5 till 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended, so call 784-9111. 784-9111 for Dozy Place, 422 North 3rd Street, Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Taxman's taken all my dough and left me in my stately home, blazing on a sunny afternoon, and I can't sail my yacht. He's taken everything I got. All I've got's this sunny afternoon. Save me, save me, save me from this squeeze. I got a big fat mama trying to break me.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Aaron Torres joining us on the hotline here, of course, from Aaron Torres Sports Media. Aaron Torres Sports Podcast. My brain's just kind of getting back into gear here, AT, after the holidays. It's kind of the time of the year. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing?
Doing well, man. Doing well. I got to bring up the Jim Larrañaga retirement first. And I started thinking about this last night. You know, Tony Bennett retires, it was like a month before the season started, just as the team, or just before Virginia started practicing. And I wondered what was going through Larrañaga's mind at that point. Because he's what, like 15 years? Bennett's elder. Bennett looks like he's 35 still. And he must have been thinking, because he voiced his frustration about how the Final Four team fell apart because of guys going into the portal and everything. I just wonder, he must have been thinking to himself, watching Bennett retire, man, I wish that was me. And then 3 months later, it is.
Well, I think what he must have been thinking was that was a pretty good speech, because it felt like he quoted Tony Bennett almost verbatim about the state of college basketball, this, that, all I would say is, listen, I kind of, it's that time of year. You don't want to get too negative and stuff, but I didn't love a lot of this. I mean, first of all, all these coaches complaining about players hitting the portal, players leaving midseason, no loyalty. It's like you just walked out on your guys in January, in the middle of December, in Christmas, the day after Christmas. And, it's like, I think there was a way where you could have waited until after the season, announced that you're retiring at the end of the year. Maybe the guys rally for you, maybe they don't. But you just quit on them in the middle of the season. And then I think bigger picture, the NIL comments were just so, I believe, tone deaf because, first of all, listen, Miami literally set the basketball. That's not a metaphorical. They literally set the basketball market. We all remember that famous John Ruiz quote or tweet. Nigel Pack is signed with Life Wallet for X amount of money over X years. And I think it just took us all aback. I mean, I remember where I was covering the USC football spring game in Lincoln Riley's first spring at USC, like blown away that was public information. And I think that was kind of the moment that we realized that NIL was here and that it wasn't NIL the way that it was supposed to be. And so, really quickly, and I'll toss it back to you guys, is, guy is 75 years old, he's allowed to retire, but I thought it was tone deaf. And I think the other thing, too, was being at that Final Four when they made it in 2023, he was very vocal about, hey, NIL is a factor, but it's not the only reason that our guys are here. And, it's so good that these players are being taken care of now. And I just didn't love it, man. And listen, he's, like I said, he's in his 70s. He's allowed to do what he wants with the rest of his life. But there were just a lot of elements yesterday that made me not feel particularly bad for him specifically.
Hey, Aaron, I want to switch over to football real quick and kind of get your thoughts on that opening, the opening 4 games. And did anybody was that Ohio State-Tennessee game? Did that impress you? Did you, after watching those 4 games, did you come away with a different opinion? Who do you like to win the championship this year?
I don't really know that I came away with a different opinion. Listen, obviously there was a lot of discourse last week. And I think in hindsight, and I think I include myself in this, I think what we all forget, it's really hard in college football to win on the road. And I think that's something that, as long as we have this format where at least the first round is on home venue, true home venues, I think we're going to see a lot of that. Listen, it sounds in hindsight, it's dumb to think about the fact that you have 4 just inferior teams based on rankings, based on resume, based on whatever, going on the road to true road venues, and we expected them to win. It just probably was dumb in hindsight. So anyway, that was my big picture takeaway. Individual teams, I'll just say 2 things really quick, and they're probably not surprising. One, very intrigued by this Notre Dame team. going into Georgia with obviously a quarterback making his first career start in Gunnar Stockton. And then I'll say the Ohio State thing was interesting to me because I was obviously on air Fox Sports Radio after Ohio State's win. And to see it immediately go from nobody believed in Ohio State coming into that game to now they're favored over Oregon. It felt like, in my opinion, it swung a little bit too far in Ohio State's favor. The thing that I keep going back to is you could argue that probably the two best performances of Ohio State's season were immediately followed by their two worst performances. They beat Penn State on the road, at a time where they really needed that win. They then go home and they struggle against Nebraska. They beat Indiana when Indiana was in the top 5, and then they go home and lose to Michigan. And so, obviously, look, the Rose Bowl is going to be awesome. But I do wonder, and by the way, I understand why. I understand why Ohio State, of course, they easily could have won at Oregon. Now this is going to be on a neutral field. I can understand why they're favorites, but it is kind of wild to me how quickly the pendulum seems to have swung from Ryan Day's terrible, he can't do anything right, to, oh, they're going to go on a run and win this whole darn thing.
What do you think about the two SEC teams that are left here? Tennessee obviously just, and I don't know if it was a matter that they just couldn't stand with Ohio State. It might be a matter of, like you're saying, going on the road to that place, and then Ohio State, playing like they were embarrassed in the biggest game of the year just a month before, 3 weeks before. Texas, I was really impressed, man. I was a little worried about Texas in terms of quarterback play, but if they can lean on that run game the way they did against Clemson, they could take it all the way because the defense certainly plays championship level. Georgia the same way. You just kind of wonder about with a backup quarterback.
Where is that game, Phil?
Goes.
Is that a home game for Georgia? Are they playing at
the
Atlanta?
Oddity, that game's in New Orleans at the Superdome.
Okay.
Yeah, that's at the Superdome, and then you got and then the game in Georgia is Texas-Arizona State.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, but I mean, the SEC will always feel, AT, like they're going to be more physical up front. I think Texas against Arizona State will be. Oregon and Ohio State can match up with them. And it's the same with Notre Dame against Georgia on the line of scrimmage. So I just wonder how much pushing around they can do.
Well, and I think that leads to the bigger question that obviously emerged last weekend is, you had – and I think the narrative changed a little bit as the weekend went on, as Tennessee got blown out. But, this narrative that we definitively would have gotten better games if we put Alabama and Ole Miss in those games, I just don't believe. Oklahoma's playing right now, and obviously we all saw Oklahoma push around Alabama. Statistically, Oklahoma's a worse defense, and they have a great defense, but it's a worse defense than any of the 4 teams they would have faced last week. And so why I bring that up, Phil, is because I think it speaks to the fact that, listen, this is a year where probably everybody in college football is flawed. We'll see with Oregon. We'll see with Ohio State. But Texas has real flaws. Georgia has real flaws. And I think, Georgia and Texas are both interesting as well because I think, and I just talked about this a little bit with Ohio State, but I think we're all guilty of just thinking that the most recent thing that we saw is what that team is. And it cracks me up because, you look at this Georgia team. Listen, Georgia, the game before the SEC championship, first of all, the SEC championship easily could have gone the other way. Remember, I think Texas was up 6-3 at the half, and it felt like they should have been up about 21-3. But Georgia's up 6-3 at the half, but they had to go, 7 overtimes against Georgia Tech the week before? I mean, this isn't a team in Georgia that was playing great football for a month, even if they had a couple losses. Easily could have lost to Georgia Tech, lost to Ole Miss, on and on. And then with Texas, I agree with you, Phil. I think the lines are so, the line play on both sides are excellent. And, I give Sark credit being an offensive guy. I think he understood coming back to the SEC as he started to build that program. Hey, it needs to be a line of scrimmage team. And I think the thing that stood out to me watching Texas against Clemson is how good they are along both lines, especially defensively, especially up the middle. And I think that's what's going to make Arizona State. I think it's just going to make it tough for Arizona State. I just don't know how they move the football against that team. But I also don't think that Texas's offense is infallible either. And so I guess the point I'm trying to make is I think those teams are kind of a good metaphor for the league as a whole this year, is that everybody just wants to say that the SEC is by far the best league and with by far the best teams, and even their fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh teams that got left out would have done X, Y, Z. I just don't see it. I think that there are individually great spots on all of these teams, even some of the teams that didn't make it. But I think even when you're talking about Georgia and Texas that remain, there are big questions going forward in this college football playoff.
Hey, Aaron, if you're a Razorback fan and you got the 8-4 Texas Tech playing 6-6 Hogs, what do you want to accomplish? What do you want to see from the Razorbacks tonight?
Well, listen, and I don't mean to be sarcastic or mean-spirited, but I know that it's been a whirlwind of a portal season. You know, you lose a lot of guys, especially contributors, big-time contributors early in the portal season. You obviously balance it out by making some big, acquisitions later on over the last, 10 days or so, 2 weeks. I just think from my perspective, and you guys have a better pulse for the team than I do, but I just think, there's going to be a lot of guys that are going to be asked not only today, but going into next season to step into roles that they weren't in not only this year, but maybe weren't even expected to be in next year, that just because of the defections, there's kind of no choice but to, hey, XYZ player at XYZ position, you kind of got to step up because you were behind a guy all year that's no longer here, and this is your first opportunity to go earn that spot for next year. So, you guys, again, could tell me much better what expectations are, what position groups need to do this, and what position. I just think, to me, there's going to be a lot of guys on that roster. I mean, what's the biggest cliche in football? Next man up, next man up. Well, obviously, again, after you've seen some attrition through the portal, it's next man up. And I think there's a lot of guys that have been brought in from other places this portal cycle to compete for those jobs. But if you're already on that roster, if you've already been in that building since August, go out and earn that job this afternoon, this evening, and I'm excited to see which guys maybe have the opportunity to do just that.
What was Christmas like this week for you, AT? Were you working? Did you get the things you wanted for Christmas? Did you give the things that you wanted for Christmas?
Very blessed Christmas. Christmas Eve, got to spend time with family. Christmas Day, did host Fox Sports Radio for 4 hours. Absolute privilege. BJ Husky, who I see in the studio, but I don't get to work with often. I'll say this, it was a fun 4 hours. It was a balance of, there was actual sports on TV to talk about, but we did the cliche, talk about Christmas movies, talk about Christmas songs, talk about best gifts, talk about worst gifts. It was fun. Really quickly, I want to hear about your guys' Christmas, but really quick, I will say one topic that came up that I was a little surprised everybody kind of agreed on. We may have gotten to a point where there was a little too much football this week. Is like, you had Saturday NFL games. No, seriously. And I thought I was the only one and I was going to be Scrooge on Christmas Day, but you had Saturday college football plus NFL, NFL all day Sunday, Monday night football. You got 2 NFL games on Wednesday. You got Thursday night football. You got NFL games on Saturday. Now, the bowl games, I think, are different because they're lighter and you don't have to kind of really pay attention. There's no fantasy team to set, nothing like that. Just felt like it was just a lot of football this week. But that was one of my takeaways from this week. But overall, it was a great holiday. I don't know if we have time, but would love to hear just quickly how both of you guys spent yours. And I hope both of you had a great holiday as well.
Matt, you want to go first or should I?
Yeah, no, life's good, man. Watched a lot of soccer. Watched this movie called The Outfit. It kind of reminded me a little bit of Reservoir Dogs, how they kind of, it's all set in one area, kind of a spy thriller 2022 movie. So, yeah, man, life is good.
Pittsburgh for me, AT. I was at the Steelers-Chiefs game. My kids, their first NFL game. And it really, it was the experience was the thing. The game was not. So we had a good time though. And then got here to Memphis last night. Yeah.
Do we have to cancel? There were 2 blowouts on Christmas Day. Does that mean that we have to cancel rounds of the playoffs or reconsider Christmas Day football, or how does that work? I just want to know because there's a lot of that in the college football. I mean. Yeah.
You're exactly right. I mean, we've had blowouts in the first round of the 14 playoff. Nobody was saying, you know what, we should just go back to the B. Well, plenty of people were saying go back to the BCS. It's just you're never going to have fewer playoff games. That's just not going to happen again.
I'll just say this really quick. Steelers and Texans got blown out on Wednesday. Clearly, if Alabama and Ole Miss had been in those games, things would have been much, much different. There's no doubt in my mind.
And if Hugh Freeze is the coach, they would have won 9 of 10.
There you go.
Well,
exactly right.
They may end up playing again in a month. It won't go very well for the black and gold either. AT, Hope you have a great new year, and we'll look forward to talking to you on the other side in 25. Thanks again, man.
Yes, great. Always a pleasure. Enjoy 24. No big things are coming in 2025. So thank you, guys. Happy New Year. Talk next week.
Aaron Torres with us from the Aaron Torres Sports Podcast. Always appreciate his time here. And did anybody notice it was just eerily quiet behind him there? I almost thought, like, AT, blink twice if you need help, because it didn't sound like he was playing Frogger on the highway. There were no sirens in the background. Nothing broke. It was just a little bit of a different segment than usual, and it sounded really good. Sounds good all the time, but
yeah,
a little bit nervous for him. 877-377-6963 to get with us on halftime. Quick break. We'll be right back.
Live coverage of the Liberty Bowl in Memphis is brought to you by Hyperfiber. Get the fastest deal of the year. Visit hyperfiber.com. It's also brought to you by Big Cypress Lodge. Camp inside the iconic Memphis Pyramid.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Hi, this is Pruitt Tollett with WT Equipment. We're here to help you get ready for the year ahead. Take advantage of our small engine shop special. Just $129 to service your mower or handheld equipment, any brand. Don't wait. This offer ends February 28th. While you're here, check out New Holland Tractors, Bobcat Equipment, and more. Tough, reliable, and ready to work as hard as you do. Visit any of our locations or online at WTEquip.com. WT Equipment. Equip your future. Elevate your potential.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life. ESPN 95.3 is live on location.
It's Big C coming to you live from Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 I-540 in Fort Smith. Over 300 vehicles available right now. $1,500 trade assistance on all of their vehicles, new or used. State sales tax paid. A lot of money you can save right now on a used vehicle. Hundreds, likely thousands of dollars. Vehicles priced as low as $9,995, and you don't have to worry about a payment for 90 days. That is hard to beat, guys. If you're looking to trade in, looking to go that route, they always give you more for your trade here. And if your credit score isn't great, don't let that deter you from coming by. They will work with you. They are great. They will get you in a vehicle you are happy with. Test drive a vehicle as well. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 I-540 in Fort Smith.
Looking to protect yourself and your family this flu season? Law's Drug Store at 6802 Rogers Avenue offers the latest vaccines for adults and seniors in both COVID-19 and the flu. Law's Drug Store has friendly pharmacists ready to assist you with no appointment necessary. Call 452-6116. It's quick, it's easy, and in most cases, free with your insurance. Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Open 6 days a week to care for you and your family.
This is Daryl Johnston with Hashtag Managed IT Services. We are excited to now be part of AAA Business Systems. Hashtag will continue to handle every IT need your business will have, and now, as part of AAA Business Systems, we can handle all of your document printing and storage solutions. Together, we have the expertise to meet all of your office technology needs. Find us online at aaabm.com or call us at 471-1771.
Do you need an attorney that you can actually speak with? You need Hickey & Hull Law Partners. The attorneys at Hickey & Hull understand the importance of client communication and are taking the time to meet you, respond to emails, and return calls. Every case is important, and they strive to give each one the time and attention it deserves. Call today, 479-434-2414, or visit them online at kevinhickeylaw.com. Hickey & Hull Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
At Central Hydraulic in Fort Smith, the work doesn't just stop when the temperature drops. We're your go-to service provider. Be sure to prep your machine and stay ahead of the frost and costly damage. Still using summer oil? Winter-friendly oil is the weapon your machine needs. Be sure to get an oil change. Check your hydraulic fluid, fuel prep, and battery check. For all these services needed in the cold weather months, come see Central Hydraulic for all your hydraulic needs at 6104 Highway 271 South or call at 479-646-0571. Central Hydraulic, your service provider.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Say something. You got one. Change your ways while you're young.
Bill Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
Ty's taking a holiday picture of me sitting here at the little setup next to the Christmas tree at Big Cypress Lodge. We did pictures at the Steelers game. That didn't feel like a forced smile. So many of the holiday pictures. I don't know. It's like I'm happy, but you look at my smile in some of these photos, and you're like, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. You're not happy to take this photo. I'm usually a pretty happy person, but I guess my smile doesn't always look like it. And thankfully, Ty walked away. I don't have to fake it any longer. It is halftime at the Big Cypress Lodge. People continuing to walk into Bass Pro Shops. And, man, there's a lot going on. They got a bowling alley. They got a number of restaurants. They've got a shooting gallery, not with real guns, but with sort of those laser sight guns. And, it's a real Bass Pro, too, and a big hotel. And this is about as unique of a facility as you'll find, of course, right by the river. 877-377-6963 to get with us on halftime today. We also have these Big Cypress Lodge jigsaw puzzles. I've never been big on the jigsaw puzzles, just because it's a little frustrating. 1,000 interlocking pieces. I'm supposed to give 2 of these things away. Somebody be like, well, sir, would you like a frustrating experience as you walk out the door? Do you try to put this thing together? And then, of course, by the time the holiday ends, you've got only 690 pieces that are stuck together, and you just throw the rest of them away. But we'll give those away to you whenever you get in here. Arkansas, Texas Tech later tonight in the Liberty Bowl. It'll be a 6 o'clock kick. I had some people say they thought it was a 9 o'clock kickoff, and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, maybe you'd have a game would end after midnight. Can't do that. No. Eddie's here. Eduardo, what you got going today? I know what you got going today. You got a whistle to blow today because there's a Razorback football game. Is the whistle well lubricated this afternoon?
I'm getting ready to blow it, sir. Let me say this. I know this fan base is hungry for a win. Something positive to end the year with. And I tell these players, I agree with Mr. Torres 100%. You got an opportunity, whoever the players are that suit up tonight, to represent our university. More importantly, you represent yourself in your play on the field. Always give your best. I don't care what team you suit up for. Let me say this. Tonight's your opportunity. Make the best of it. But if you do that, and everybody plays the best they can, we're going to win this game. If you don't, and you bring another poor performance, turning the ball over, not blocking, not making tackles, not executing in the red zone, you will lose this game. Let me say this. that was not their starting quarterback. We got our starting quarterback. I fully expect us to win this game. Do you expect out of yourself tonight? Because this fan base needs something to hang our hat on for next year. And if you do that, that whistle is going to be blowing. Because, we got into the year, with some new portal players coming in, and you win this game, hey, it's just going to add to it. Lose this game, and the fan base is not going to feel any better than they do now. Thanks for taking my call, gentlemen, and I fully expect to be blowing a whistle come Monday.
Eduardo, hope you had a very Merry Christmas, a very Happy New Year coming up. I know we'll hear from you before 2025, and as always, thank you for listening to our show. 877-377-6963. We know Braylon Russell will play. We know he's going to get some carries. I think Sam said yesterday he's been involved in, I think it was 7 or 8 practices. So that's enough to be ready for a bowl game. But you also got Tyrell Reed and Rodney Hill that are ready to go. So I'd expect you'll see 3 running backs get some time today, Matt. And then the big question of this game is, will he or won't he? Taj Brooks, the Texas Tech running back, 3rd leading rusher in the nation, all-time leading rusher in Texas Tech history. And I just can't imagine that if you've been practicing and that you're here with the team, that you're not going to play. Coach McGuire, I think it was yesterday, said something to the akin of, well, we like the 2 guys that we have behind him. It's just a matter of what Brooks will tell us. And he made it seem like it's a conversation that they'll have this morning or just leading into the bus ride to the stadium. If he's ready to go, we'll give him the ball. If not, well, he'll just go get the other 2 freshmen a little calmed down. Those would be Cameron Dickey and Jacoby Williams. But I just can't imagine that if you're here and you've been practicing, that you're not going to play. That to me wouldn't make very much sense. But I can't put myself in the kid's head, so I don't know.
Yeah, our backfield for the Hogs, maybe roles start to get defined. RB1, I think in most people's minds will be Russell, but then you got to have a stable. So is Rodney Hill, is he ready? Have we seen enough out of him? Is he ready to come up and be in the mix, be in that rotation, be somebody you can rely on? I'm excited to see these running backs run.
And you brought in one running back out of the portal. Washington's his name, out of New Mexico State, played at Buffalo previously. He's got 1 year left of eligibility. And I just kind of wonder about the guys that have made their decision to be a part of next year's Razorback team. You get 4 receivers that have decided to come in here, and a couple of them have been, big time productive receivers where they were. Raylan Sharp and Omega Blake. Those 2 guys specifically are the ones that I'm thinking of. But if you're if you're Monte Harrison, if you're C.J. Brown, I think Brown's going to get some opportunities no matter what. I think Harrison will too. But if you're those guys that are like watching, I don't know if they're here too or if they're watching on television, it's like that's their opportunity to see who it is that they're going to be competing against when it comes time for spring ball. But I do expect that, if you're a guy like Blake who's viewed as the top deep threat in the portal, you're coming in here and you're going to start as long as you don't have a really, really bad spring. And that's a thing I'd love to see, man. I feel like we saw enough from Russell to think, yeah, this guy can carry a good chunk of the load moving forward. But there's opportunities for some of the receivers. And heck, like a Maddox Lassiter at tight end.
Tight end might be a biggest question mark, huh? If you're looking at how many we lost.
That's right. You brought it. So they brought in 1 so far. That's the kid out of Texas A&M. And when I was reading about him, he was being described more as a blocking tight end. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean you can't catch it, like Pashka, because he's a blocking tight end, but he caught a couple of touchdowns. But you're right. That was a position going into the season of strength. You lost a couple of them. You see Washington has decided to go to,
South Florida?
No, I don't think it was South Florida. It was Notre Dame. That's right. I thought it was, I was going to say Purdue, because I thought it was an Indiana school. You got a tight end who has showed so much promise, but refused to go into a game for, I think, emotional reasons. But Notre Dame, a team that's in the playoffs, we've obviously had the right kind of conversation with him that we're going to give him an opportunity here. But I agree. Tight end is that spot where one of the spots where it's just been a little bit, well, not a little bit thin. It's just been really thin. Sam said it yesterday. When they're in 12 personnel, they are really thin. I just wonder how much 12 personnel can you play when one of those tight ends has been a fullback for most of the season. So, yeah, I mean, and I feel on the defensive side, you just don't have as many holes, or really any. I mean, losing Landon Jackson makes me wonder, so what kind of pressure can you get on the quarterback? And that was an issue, I think, throughout the year. You didn't really get consistent pressure on the quarterback. And, gosh, like Charlie Collins and Quincy Rhodes Jr., those are the guys. And maybe Junkaj, if they get another year of eligibility out of him. I guess that's still up in the air because of the JUCO ruling. But if you can find a couple of guys that have big games on the outside and show some chemistry with Talon, and then maybe find a way to get to their quarterback a couple of times, man, it might give you a little bit of feeling going into the offseason. But then again, it's like I viewed it. It's a standalone game. I don't know if it means much going forward because you have so many players coming in. It just seems it's more about when they battle in the springtime and then in August as well. Live here at the Big Cypress Lodge in the iconic Memphis Pyramid. You can get in here for $169 a night, winter weekdays. It's really not all that expensive to come into a really unique location. We won't find anything like it. And when we come back, we'll wrap up hour number 1 on halftime. So stay with us.
As being a fan, there's a fire that burns in me just like when I was 7 years old, my first game in Little Rock, Arkansas.
This is halftime.
ESPN 95.3 is live on location.
Harry Robinson, Salisal Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisal. The best deals of the new year are right here today. You don't have to wait. The test drive giveaway is on. I want to tell you about that first. Come test drive any vehicle, and there's over 200 to choose from at Harry Robinson Salisal Ford. You're automatically entered to win a SUV, a four-wheel drive SUV that they're giving away on December 31st. Details on that are when you get here. It's easy. It doesn't cost a thing. Just test drive and you're entered. 15% off 24 Fords. Never heard of an offer like this before. You think about 15% off 35, 40, 50,000 or more. This is a huge savings. So come test drive a car, be entered to win a four-wheel drive SUV, and get 15% off any 24 Ford. Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisal.
Designed by Jason Christie, the Booyah Finesse Covert Spinnerbait doesn't just bring the fight, it dominates. Choose from 3 blade options: Colorado for maximum thump, Willow for bright flash, and the one the pros won't talk about, the Oklahoma blade. Perfectly balanced for subtle vibration, multiple flash points, and unmatched versatility. The Oklahoma blade is your secret weapon for pressured waters. Precision engineering, tournament proven, and one mission: dominate. Booyah Finesse Covert Spinnerbait, here for one thing.
Waldron Wave Rural Connect. Internet is now available in your area. Fast fiber internet and full-featured home phone are ready for you. This covers areas around Waldron, Bates, Winfield, Y-City, and more. Check out your address online today. The best whole home solution of internet and phone, all from a local provider you can trust. Order online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
At Dobson Fiber, we're helping you build stronger connections by bringing the fastest internet network available to your business. Why fiber? Fiber internet provides reliable, symmetrical, blazing speeds. Without any interruptions or buffering, you can rely on Dobson for all your data needs. With Dobson Fiber as your premium internet provider, you can focus on the things that matter and the connections you build. To see if fiber is available to you, visit Dobson.net. Dobson Fiber, building stronger connections.
When your carpets, upholstery, and floors look dirty and stained, call your local Service Master Clean at 646-4087. Service Master Clean is an industry leader and can remove the toughest stains from your home or office. And they back their work with a satisfaction guarantee. Eliminate dirt and grime from your carpet, hardwood, tile, and laminate floors. Call your local Service Master Clean, 479-646-4087. That's 646-4087 or online at servicemasterpc.com.
Who can you trust to sell your home for the most money with the least amount of drama? You need a team of agents with decades of experience, commitment, and of course, tens of thousands in marketing. I'm talking about the Limbird team. Tara Limbird Real Estate Group has sold over $1 billion in real estate. Tara's team can give you a cash offer in 72 hours, or use Tara's high-octane marketing to sell your home quite possibly for thousands over asking. Find out more at LimbirdTeam.com. LIMBIRD.
The big after Christmas sale is underway at Jelco Outdoors. Check out the huge savings under the porch and throughout the store. Save 50% off select work, hunting, and casual clothing by Ariat, Wrangler, Scentlock, Drake, Browning, Pursuit Gear, and more. Hurry in while the selection is at its best. Don't miss the big Jelco Outdoors 50% off after Christmas sale. Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith. Open New Year's Day, 10 till 5.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Coming up into essentially our golden hour, since halftime's just 2 hours today. Happy 83rd birthday to the one and only Nolan Richardson. Yesterday was Frank Broyles' 100th birthday, so back days, two of the most important people in Razorback athletics history. Saw Coach at the Bob Holt Celebration of Life, and I'll tell you what, Matt, he still has the voice, and he still has everything about him. He knows how to captivate a crowd in a way that not many people do, and it happened immediately once he grabbed that microphone. It was. I was sitting next to Bo Mattingly, and when Coach was done, I looked at Bo and I said, "Man, I feel lucky that I was here to hear that." And you're somebody that I'm sure Coach Richardson grabbed your attention the first time he spoke to you.
Well, if I'd have had a face mask, he might have grabbed me by the face mask. That's for sure. No, I love Coach Nolan Richardson. Can't say enough good things about Coach. Man, gave a lot. And helped a lot of people along the way. Happy birthday, Coach. Yeah.
If you were all right, it's like you put people in these, two-word descriptions, and it's supposed to say something about them. I'm not sure if it's the right thing to say about him. Would you describe Coach Richardson specifically as old school? Because people wonder if he would have been able to survive in today's day and age of college basketball, and I think that he's the kind of coach it takes the ability to adjust. I would like to think that he would have the ability to adjust to that. But you see all these guys that have retired now, and it's you would think that they adjusted throughout their careers too. I'd like to get his opinions on that.
Yeah, I mean, if I was to discipline and competitor, those would be the two things. He didn't tell you a lot of things twice. You know what I mean? Once he tells you what to do and coach you up, and if you're not paying attention, then that's on you. So he discipline and competitor. That'd be two words I'd use to describe Nolan.
I would think a thing that I know he was good at, and that it's not just something that he'd lament the loss of. But I think this is another reason why coaches are getting out of the sport, and you just don't develop players quite as much as you did before. And you talk about relationships and how that means something, but it's like you're developing young people into close to being grown men by the time they leave campus, and you're part of their development, not just as a basketball player, but also as a person. Now I always got a sense of that hearing Coach Richardson's players talk about him, just the way that you do too, man. I feel like he helped shape people, not just as players, but as men. We go into our final hour of halftime for this week. Our phone number is 877-377-6963. Neil Atkinson from BetSayer is in about 20 minutes. And if you got any questions on the betting aspects of this Liberty Bowl or anything else during bowl season, text it into us. Halftime returns right after the top of the hour.
Valley Family Dental, formerly known as Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice work to give all of their patients better lives with a better smile. Valley Family Dental, now offering same-day crown service. Mention you heard this ad on ESPN Radio at your next appointment and receive a free bleaching kit or $100 off in-office accelerated whitening. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
Ready to explore beyond the beaten path? Discover the Range Rover lineup at Land Rover of Little Rock. Experience handcrafted luxury with the capability to take on any adventure. The elegant Range Rover offers unmatched performance and first-class luxury. The Range Rover is built for every journey. Visit Land Rover of Little Rock today and explore our incredible Range Rover selection. Plus, take advantage of our promotions and recently revamped service department. Visit us at 25 Colonel Glenn Plaza Drive or log on at LandRoverLittleRock.com.
The Newmeyer family is a mainstay in Fort Smith, and their newest restaurant, the Whippoorwill, has so much to offer. Friday night catfish, good. Tuesday nights, kids 10 and under eat free with an adult meal purchase. Don't forget about Whippoorwill for every Hogs game with their massive projection screen. For catering options, call 479-769-2095. Newmeyer's Whippoorwill Restaurant, now a part of the Newmeyer family.
Let me grab my car keys and we'll roll.
We still going to that new bar downtown?
Yeah, it's supposed to be fun. Lexi, give me driving directions from home to downtown Bar District.
Autocorrect. Suggest Uber. Pick up, home. Drop off downtown Bar District.
No, I'm driving.
Suggest the Metro bus. Departing in 12 minutes.
Point taken, Lexi. We'll grab a ride.
If you drink, don't drive. Decide to ride. Brought to you in partnership by Anheuser-Busch, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, and Uber.
If you're interested in continuing your involvement in high school athletics and want to make some extra money, what better way to do so than by becoming an official? For information on how you can give back to student athletes in Arkansas, please contact us at 501-955-2500. Again, that's 501-955-2500. The Arkansas Activities Association is looking for sports officials, and you may be the answer.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, partial sunshine. Our high temperatures this afternoon into the low 60s. We will see cloudy skies tonight, mid to upper 40s. Partly sunny skies on Saturday with a slight chance of a few showers. Our high temperatures on Saturday in the low to mid 60s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by In Good Spirits, Fort Smith's premier source for fine wines, specialty beers, and liquor.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Crabtree RV Studios on ESPN 95.3. Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center Studios.
Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas. And streaming on hitthatline.com. You gotta take me here. That's the perspective. If I'm all right. Why can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
You both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's Halftime with Bill Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head.
The angles were so bad, we showed them at halftime.
What angle one Razorback?
Like, what in the world were we thinking?
It's vintage Matt Jones.
or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olson and Matt Jones.
And back into our I was going to say third and final hour. That's right, yeah. Second and final hour of halftime. We used to do a 2-hour show. It's been, I think, 3 years now of 3 hours, but only 2 today. All of the shows are kind of compacted. Ruskin and Zach will be 2 hours. 3 o'clock, Learfield pregame, Arkansas and the Liberty Bowl against Texas Tech, 6 o'clock. Hogs are a slight favorite, 2.5 when I last saw. And it was their last hour here. Who is it you are interested to watch? There was one player specifically defensively I'm interested to get a look at. The coaches have been talking about him a little bit. Freshman linebacker Bradley Shaw. You lost one of your best linebackers, Brad Spence, to Texas. Spence had lost his starting job, though. Steven Dix was getting a lot of those snaps. Avian Sori is outstanding. But Shaw is somebody that started to get more playing time, not just on special teams late in the season. And I think, Matt, when you look at where players have come from the portal, the positions that they've played previously, you don't have any linebackers that are coming in out of the portal right now for Arkansas. Now, of course, you still have, plenty of spots left on the team, and they might be looking at linebackers. There's also the spring portal season. But you brought in cornerback, safety, defensive end, defensive tackle, no linebackers. So, I mean, if you watch this year, linebacker was a position of strength, and that's one guy that I know is going to be counted on to get a lot of snaps next year. I don't know necessarily in a starting role, but he'll be one of your 3-4 top linebackers, and that's already a position of strength. You can usually tell how a team feels about the players they've got on the team at that position if they don't bring anybody in out of the portal, at least not yet. But I'm excited to watch Bradley Shaw defensively, Matt. Wonder if there's anybody defensively that you're thinking of or that our listeners are thinking of. 877-377-6963. Chris in Springdale says Quincy Rhodes Jr. wants to see him get a sack. I'd like to see that as well. Looked like he came close a few times. Didn't quite get there more often than not. But, you just not as much turnover on the defense. And I think that hopefully will pay some dividends in this Liberty Bowl later.
Can you be deeper than the deepest? There's just to have a good team, you got to have a good safety. So I want to see the back end. I want to see our safeties, how they fly around, how they tackle. And then you mentioned some new guys and some fresh faces that are going to be playing. You want to see how we tackle. That's the other thing. You're not going to beat a lot of teams if you miss a lot of tackles. And one of the things, we kind of get onto the offense about all the fumbles but as far as a positive thing, Phil, I thought our defense tackled the ball pretty well for the most part all year. Hopefully we can continue to do that with some new linebackers.
And that number is 877-377-6963. Is there a player or a couple of players that you're zeroing in on that maybe you didn't get a look at too often throughout the regular season that you're excited to see in the Liberty Bowl? Charlie's here. Let's get his thoughts. Charlie, good afternoon. What's going on?
What's up, guys? Yeah, I've stuffed my face filled with all this food, and I decided to take off today, so just kind of chilling.
You sound like you're in a food coma, Charlie. You usually have a lot of energy, but you sound like
I'm coming out of it.
Yeah, it sound like you had too much biscuits and gravy this morning.
Yeah, I mean, even back to Christmas, man, it was good. So, still trying to catch up, but some good basketball games there the other day on Christmas Day. But I'll say this, Phil, I don't know if this is excitement or if it's more so I want to see what this guy can do, and I mean this with all due respect. I hope he plays well. The guy who plays center in the game, Edmondson, right? Isn't he going to get the start? I want to see how he plays. I know we got the guy from UCF, but look, man, I mean, this is your opportunity, and, if he can go out there and play well, give yourself an opportunity to compete in the off season. And that's not necessarily saying, oh, you're going to start at center, but could you play guard, So I want to see how he plays. And this defensive line, I'm not. I guess with T. Will's system, I was thinking about it this year because he's always been more of a four-man front guy, but I think we went to this 3-2-6 look or 3-3-5, however you want to look at it, look because of the lack of, depth on the defensive line and because they weren't getting pressure with four. And you talked about it, the other strength of this team was linebacker. I'm excited to see Bradley Shaw too. That was actually somebody I would have said. Now, granted, this defensive line is going to have to do a good job, covering up for him so he can run. But him and Sori on the field together, I think could be a really good duo. I think they both can play in space, can cover. I think with Shaw, it's just getting experience and getting out there and getting some reps. I mean, I think I saw him in there one game, Phil, where he came in and got a sack. You could just see it. I don't remember who it was against, but yeah, man, excited to see what happens. But most importantly, that we get out of this thing healthy. That's the most important thing. Anyways, y'all have a good one.
Thanks, Charlie. Yeah, I mean that's the other thing too. Be healthy. Rocket got injured in the Liberty Bowl 2 years ago. Who knows if he was ever quite the same for the next calendar year.
Not until he got to Columbia.
Not until he got to South Carolina and everything looked fine. Who else was it? I think it was Tykeus Crawford got hurt in that Liberty Bowl too. You remember Dominique Johnson in the Outback Bowl? He suffered a pretty bad knee injury. That was the first of the 2 knee injuries that led to his undoing here. But you also appreciate the idea football is the most physical sport, and injuries do happen. And it's you don't want something that's going to lead to somebody missing practice time in the spring, or certainly any game time in the summer, in September, or when we come back here, because we're going to be here in September. Got a few names coming in on the text line. It's 877-377-6963. Seth and Rogers is interested in watching Rodney Hill getting 12-plus carries. I'd assume he'd get about that. How many did Rodney have throughout the year? He had 20 carries this year. So that was, 3, 4 here and there. But if you're in 3 backs and your 2 leading backs that were Jaquindon Jackson and Rashad Dubinion are no longer here, well, yeah, I wonder, you're going to be run first? You're going to be throw first today? This is a defense in Texas Tech that allowed over 300 passing yards a game. I think you can move it against them any way you want, truthfully. I'd be interested, Matt. I wonder who gets the bulk of the carries. Is it the guy that didn't go into the portal in Hill, or is it going to be Russell, the guy who we'd expect is your RB1 next year? I do think Hill gets 12 carries, though, at least 10.
Yeah, 12 touches, even if it's in the screen game. There's ways to get him the ball. I saw where the running back, Sampson from Tennessee, he declared for the NFL draft. And then I saw the running back from Tulane, Malachi Hughes. He just entered the portal. And I know last year we went and got Jaquindon Jackson from Utah. And, dude, what a home run that was. I thought it was. I thought it was absolute. Malachi Hughes is a beast, man. I don't know if he's like at the Junkins area where, he's going to be $1.5 million, but he's $1 million running back. I don't know if they're even trying to put any more money, but if you were to say Russell and Malachi Hughes as your 1-2, man, you'd be dynamite.
Yeah, he was only a sophomore too.
He's a 5'10", little kind of like a Maurice Jones-Drew guy. Tough, absolutely tough.
15 touchdowns, 1,400 yards. I do wonder if they'll bring another running back out of the portal outside of Mike Washington, who ran for 8 touchdowns for New Mexico State and 4.5 yards a carry last year. He had 3 decent years at Buffalo. But by the idea that position takes so many bumps and bruises, I don't know if you can have too many good running backs there. So maybe there's another 1 or 2 to get in here. Josefa says Kobe Branham and Monte Harrison are 2 guys he's excited to see. Branham will be at right guard, and the way the coach talk about him, he's not just right guard for this game, he's right guard for the next 3 years, maybe 4 years. So I think we'll certainly be zeroing in on him. And Harrison, man, it's not a matter for me that he was underused. That's not it. It's just it's like he's brand new to football again. You had guys on the team that were that are at wide receiver that had been playing football for the last 4, 5, 6 years while Monte was playing baseball. So it felt like, we might have expected a little bit more just because he's older and obviously has the athleticism as a major league center fielder. But I think this year was more about a reintroduction to football for him. But I think he can be a guy that's going to make a difference moving forward. And what better way to start than right here today in the Liberty Bowl, where you're down, your top receiver. And Isaac Tesla, that's the thing. It's like, can Harrison get open now? Because that's been an issue for some of the Arkansas receivers. And, of course, you got Broden back. I don't know what the issue was with Broden. Sam said there was some kind of a personal issue, but he's back. He's been practicing, and I'm assuming he'll get some snaps too, because this will be the last college game he plays. Come on and see us over here at the Big Cypress Lodge at Bass Pro Shops. It's, of course, at the old Memphis Pyramid downtown, right by the river. There have been thousands of people coming in and out. Still got this sky-high ticket to give away up to the top of the giant elevator that's right in the middle of the pyramid. We got a couple of Big Cypress Lodge puzzle sets to give away, too. And you can even shake Ty Richardson's hand if you so desire. I'm not sure if that's something you're interested in doing or not. Neil Atkinson from Bet Saracen joins us in just a moment on Halftime.
The President of the United States only gets 4 years, and we're giving Sam Pittman 6 years. Well, there you go.
This is Halftime.
Building warriors.
Physical toughness and physicality matter more now than ever before.
Competing for each other.
You can care about the kids and still win.
Upholding the high standard.
Whatever we do, we'll have good people who are driven and wired, knowing that there's an expectation here and not being afraid of it.
This is one of those Razorback moments.
Follow John Calipari in Arkansas on the hardwood all season long.
Right here on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
ESPN 95.3 is live on location.
Big C coming to you live from Harry Robinson Buick GMC exit 11 I-540 in Fort Smith through January 1st. They have got some great deals going on for you. Over 300 vehicles to choose from. Cars, trucks, vans, SUVs. I'm telling you, they pride themselves on having variety and a lot of options to choose from. Come test drive a vehicle. You won't be disappointed. You'll find something you like. They've got $1,500 trade assistance on every vehicle on the lot. That's new or used. State sales tax paid on their used inventory. Vehicles as low as $9,995 and no payments for 90 days. Get by here right now. They always give you more for your trade as well if you're looking to go that route. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. You can always go online at harryrobinson.com.
Waldron Wave Rural Connect. Internet is now available in your area. Fast fiber internet and full-featured home phone are ready for you. This covers areas around Waldron, Bates, Winfield, Y-City, and more. Check out your address online today. The best whole home solution of internet and phone, all from a local provider you can trust. Order online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Did you get us switched over to shelter insurance?
Actually, I found a deal online.
You did. Does your deal come with award-winning customer service?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Does the deal include a local agent?
Doesn't actually say.
Can we create a customized plan that fits our needs? Let's just call the local shelter agent.
For insurance that fits just right, find a shelter agent near you.
See Agent Jeff Clark in Fort Smith or Agent Brad Howe in Van Buren.
Hi, this is Pruitt Tollett with WT Equipment. We're here to help you get ready for the year ahead. Take advantage of our small engine shop special. Just $129 to service your mower or handheld equipment, any brand. Don't wait. This offer ends February 28th. While you're here, check out New Holland Tractors, Bobcat Equipment, and more. Tough, reliable, and ready to work as hard as you do. Visit any of our locations or online at WTEquip.com. WT Equipment. Equip your future. Elevate your potential.
Have you been searching for a luxury dealership experience unlike any other? Come to Land Rover Little Rock in Little Rock, Arkansas, and discover why we're known as classy, top-tier, easy, and honest. Whether you want to upgrade your ride to a new Range Rover Velar or you're in the market for a used vehicle of another make, you won't regret visiting our Little Rock, Arkansas Land Rover dealership for all your automotive needs. Can't make it in? Check us out online at LandRoverLittleRock.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3.
I ain't happy. I'm feeling glad I got sunshine in a bag. I'm useless, but not for long. The future is coming on. I ain't happy. I'm feeling glad I got sunshine in a bag. I'm useless, but not for long. The future is coming on. It's coming on. It's coming. It's coming on. It's
Finally, someone let me out of my cage. Now, time for me is nothing cause I'm counting no A's. Nah, I couldn't be there. Now, you shouldn't be scared. I'm good at repairs, and I'm under each snare, intangible. Bet you didn't think, so I command you to. Panoramic view. Look, I'll make it all manageable.
Find halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Neil Atkinson is with us on the hotline from BetSarazin, Arkansas's favorite sports betting app. You want to put some money on any of the bowl games going on today, and there are 5 of them. You can always do it on your BetSarazin app. You can log on to betsarazin.com on any web browser. Works on the Apple iPhone, Android as well. Neil, good afternoon. Happy Liberty Bowl Day. I mean, we can choose 4 other bowl games if we want to call it, like Birmingham Bowl Day too. But that also makes it a big day for the sports bettors.
Oh yeah. Hey, it's better than last year. We didn't have an Arkansas bowl game last year, so I think I'm glad to see these bowl games and get a look at the players. I'm kind of looking at this as a preview to next year and seeing which ones can step up and play. And again, don't forget these non-playoff bowl games are a reward for the players. And hey, just watch it for football, and maybe we can catch a rising star and come away with the win. And with Arkansas State winning last night and having 8 wins, I know University of Arkansas doesn't want to have a lower record than them, so there's even more motivation. And looks like it won't be a below freezing bowl game for once at the Liberty Bowl, which I know everybody's happy with that. So hopefully we'll have pretty good representation in the stands, even with the construction going on.
Yeah, and it won't be sopping wet, which I mean, I really expect to see a high-scoring game here. I see the over-under it's already gone up half a point since we started the show today, 52.5. I think the bettors are kind of keying in on this, that even though Tech doesn't have their starting quarterback, that they can still put up some points. I think the Razorbacks will too. I just wonder how much of it also swings on whether or not Taj Brooks plays. And, man, that's probably the biggest wild card, the biggest unknown right now, Neil.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to say this, but you look at those bowl games yesterday. That Pittsburgh and game with 6 overtimes yesterday was in Toledo was fun to watch with all the scoring. If you look, all 4 bowl games yesterday went over yesterday. So maybe the defenses are playing a little bit looser. Don't want to get hurt, and of course a lot of it, you're playing a few more inexperienced players, which the coaches are loving because they get these extra practices and all that. So, and you look at the game tonight. I mean, the over. I mean, you never bet the farm. There are no guarantees in sports betting, but the over in this game, looking at Texas Tech's defense in the regular season, there's going to be some points scored, and I hope so because. Like, you look at last night's NFL game, that was not fun to watch. A high-scoring bowl game with, people just going out there and playing and having fun, I like watching that. So, Yeah, hopefully we have a nice contrast today with scoring and what we got right now. Trying to keep a look at the current one. You got 14-7 Navy and Oklahoma, so they'll have to score some in the second half to get that game to go over. But it's a fun day.
It's a fun day. And when it comes to a Razorback game, you guys will always have very special props for a bowl game. Or do you have just as many, or even some more? Zero in on a couple of them that you think might be attractive.
Well, to me, with how much scoring that I've seen in these bowl games, I think a lot of them are attractive. Especially, you'll see that some of these, like Monte Harrison over 4.5 targets, -120. That's negative odds. I mean, there are so many different players that are going to be in and out. We've got pretty good benchmarks on all of these. Don't go and bet every one of them. You're not going to win any money, but go through and look and see who you think may get in this lineup. And, whether it's a target, which it's a first, Arkansas team first quarter scoring over 6.5, that means they just got to get a touchdown in the first quarter at -110. There's a lot of makeable bets out there, prop bets on this one, and not as much for like a Super Bowl or a major playoff game, but we covered it as well as we could just due to the fan engagement. And there's a lot of opportunity on there. And like I said, if the game goes like I think it's going to go and like it says it's going to go on paper, it should be a lot of opportunity to hit these props. And I think, what is there, 30 or 40 of them up here? I lost count after a while. There's just so many. And then all the scoring props are pretty attractive for this game too. Like 4+ touchdowns to be scored in each half, +400. I mean, I think that's doable in this bowl game.
So I opened up my BetSaracen app, and I went to the game that's being played right now, the Armed Forces Bowl, Oklahoma and Navy. There are about 2 minutes left in the first half. It's 14-7 OU. And when I look on my app, it's actually, now I was going initially by the ESPN scoreboard. The BetSaracen app is ahead of the ESPN scoreboard. It's actually, you can see the clock in motion. I can see it's 3rd and 11 at the Oklahoma 41. And, man, I mean, it's actually more updated than ESPN is, which is impressive, Neil.
Well, we have that's a service we subscribe to through the data providers, and that is up-to-date live with the technology looped into that game, and there's no latency involved in that, very little. Whereas like a radio broadcast, ESPN updating scores, TV, you can have it to a 30 to a 45-second broadcast. I have a few of my friends that have taken advantage of that when they've been in bars with people, and they go, I bet he scores a touchdown here. Oh, no, he won't. Well, they've already seen the score and beat the latency and get one over on their friends. So, and sometimes with live betting, it'll get off sync, and you got to look at the drive and the play. And you're doing the flash bets and the play-by-play to make sure that you are lined up. But these streaming services are getting better with the latency, and we just bought a decoder box so we could show the Netflix games and the playoff games, and our latency was about 32 seconds less than what I was seeing on my Netflix on my phone. So, we've got low latency here at the sportsbook here at the casino now for that stuff, for the most part. As long as I don't jam up the internet or anything. So we're rapidly keeping up on this technology because it's so fast-paced nowadays.
Neil, understanding that BetSaracen is specific to the state of Arkansas, and, we're mostly a college sports state, but the NFL dominated in the ratings against college football on Saturday, and the NFL dominated the NBA on Christmas Day in terms of ratings, too. Was it the same on BetSaracen?
Absolutely. Yep, it sure did. Well, now on Saturday of the college playoffs, we did more because there was only 2 playoff games that day. We did more on that. The players had a great Saturday, and all of our BetSaracen players did just like I did. I placed some friendly bets, and I took all of my profits from the first 3 games, and I put it all on Tennessee because I'm a Tennessee fan, and a lot of our BetSaracen people did it too. If the fans would have bet all of the favorites last weekend, it would have been really, really ugly for the books. They were already happy. They did very, very well. And of course, the parlay rolled over from the Sunday games to the Monday night games this week was a little interesting for us, too. The players are having a very, very good month.
All right, I know it's kind of looking ahead here, but because it's bowl season and you still have like another 3 weeks before the championship game for college
Oh,
football.
yeah.
But you can't put the props out early enough for next year. When do you start putting that kind of stuff out about 2025?
We traditionally, they put up the way too early props usually after the national championship game. I don't foresee you having a whole lot of props out. You'll have to win in certain teams and things of that nature. But the transfer portal is going to get all wacky again because they for the ones that are in the playoffs, the after the playoffs are over, those players got some extra days to get in the transfer portal. So we'll probably put out the normal props, and then once the dust settles, then we'll put out the season props pretty quick after that. But it's tougher and tougher with this transfer portal and all that's going on with college football. So at least this year we're not dealing with much as realignment like we were last year.
We've got basketball season coming up pretty quickly here, and the SEC has been the dominant conference so far. It's going to make it – it really kind of makes it exciting for sports bettors too, but also just a lot more difficult, I think, to figure out, what to do in terms of where you put your money for basketball. I haven't quite seen the league like this ever before, or maybe any league ever before.
No, I'm a little nervous because we've got 10 out of 16 teams in the top 25, AP top 25 that came out on Monday. The SEC, once conference play starts next week, throw those rankings out. I think we're going to have great basketball on the court every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Saturday for the next 3 months. It's going to be amazing once we're in this conference schedule. And I know Arkansas opens up at Tennessee on a week from, what is it, a week from tomorrow? Yeah, a week from tomorrow. Wow. It's incredible how fast this has gone. So I know a lot of people are looking forward to that. I got the game with Oakland before that, but the SEC is going to be volatile this year. I don't think you can write anybody in with the way the league is stacked this year. And from a bookmaker's perspective, unless a team just covers and takes dominance, it's great for me because when players get dialed in, they can hurt us. And boy, they really got dialed in on the NFL this month. And the way the playoffs and the NFL are doing, people are really hammering us when we're making these mistakes on the lines, and the national odd feeds are making a few mistakes right now. But hey, that's why. Hey, if all the favorites always won, it would be fun sports betting.
Neil, we'll do it again next week. Hope you have a happy new year, and we'll have playoff games next week too. So I know everybody's going to be fired up about that, specifically at Bet Saracen as well.
Well, next weekend is crazy because we don't have any college football games next weekend.
Right.
It's all NFL because the playoff games are on New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. But I just want to leave everybody. Thank you so much for making Bet Saracen the number one sports book in the state. We're working hard. There's a lot of releases coming out to make it better. And everybody be safe. Bet with your head and not over it. It's okay to spend some of your Christmas money with me, but don't spend it all. And good luck on your parlays. And if you're going to the game, be safe in the traffic and have a lot of fun. And let's cheer on the Hogs, and let's just close out this year and get ready for the basketball conference play next week.
It's Neil Atkinson, Bet Saracen, Arkansas's favorite sports betting app. All right, we're in the home stretch of an early golden hour. Our number is 877-377-6963. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Live coverage of the Liberty Bowl in Memphis is brought to you by Hyperfiber. Get the fastest deal of the year. Visit hyperfiber.com. It's also brought to you by Big Cypress Lodge. Camp inside the iconic Memphis Pyramid. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
In Arkansas, 7 out of every $10 placed on a sporting bet app is with Bet Saracen because Bet Saracen offers more ways to win and more ways to get paid and faster. Find your winners on Bet Saracen and look for my Double R prop bet specials. I pick them and you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
This is halftime.
ESPN 95.3 is live on location.
It's Big C coming to you live from Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 I-540 in Fort Smith. Over 300 vehicles available right now. $1,500 trade assistance on all of their vehicles, new or used. State sales tax paid. A lot of money you can save right now on a used vehicle. Hundreds, likely thousands of dollars. Vehicles priced as low as $9,995, and you don't have to worry about a payment for 90 days. That is hard to beat, guys. If you're looking to trade in, looking to go that route, they always give you more for your trade here. And if your credit score isn't great, don't let that deter you from coming by. They will work with you. They are great. They will get you in a vehicle you are happy with. Test drive a vehicle as well. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11, I-540 in Fort Smith.
Waldron Wave Rural Connect. Internet is now available in your area. Fast fiber internet and full-featured home phone are ready for you. This covers areas around Waldron, Bates, Winfield, Y-City, and more. Check out your address online today. The best whole home solution of internet and phone, all from a local provider you can trust. Order online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Come on along, head for the mountains of Bushfield. Head for the mountains, it's cold and it's smooth and it's waiting for you. Come on, head for the mountains of Bushfield. Head for the mountains of Bush. Head for the mountains of Bush. Life.
Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2022. Anheuser-Busch, Busch, and Busch Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
This is Coke Zero Sugar. Could I be the best Coke ever? Try and taste with your ears. Hear those bubbles? Imagine them tingling on your tongue. Fizzy deliciousness. Listen to that cascading liquid. A mouth-watering waterfall. Irresistibly tasty. Zero sugar. Crisp, refreshing, and ice cold. Is Coke Zero Sugar the best Coke ever? Try and decide.
What makes Crabtree RV Center different? First, we are a fourth-generation family-owned business, taking pride in making your family's dreams come true. No corporate mentality here. Second, we've been in business for 74 years, founded in 1950 here in the River Valley, Northwest Arkansas area. We are not going anywhere. What does that mean for our customers? A family feel with no corporate hidden fees. The reassurance that we will be here for generations to come, and knowledgeable salespeople who want to pick the right RV for your family to make lifetime memories in. Crabtree RV Center, making your family's dreams come true for over 70 years.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3.
Out in the town, there was another rain that rolled on the ground. Street, I heard such a soft tune.
Welcome back into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
You know, Saturday there are 2, 4, 6, 7, 8 bowl games on Saturday tomorrow. My gosh. One of them is the Arizona Bowl, which, of course, is named for Snoop Dogg now. And you got to get a look at the field where they're playing. This is at the home of the Arizona football program in Tucson. And it looks like everything you would expect from a Snoop Dogg branded thing, except I don't see any smoke anywhere. But it's gin and juice, and yeah, that does look like a pretty sweet-looking coupe, convertible on one end zone too, painted into the end zone. That looks sharp. 877-377-6963 to get with us here. So we brought it up. I think it was yesterday or earlier in the week about what will Nick Saban be doing in the near future now that we know that Bill Belichick is the North Carolina head coach. Pete Carroll wants to get back to the NFL. I think somebody will hire Carroll, whether it's the Bears. Could make sense. Saban's pretty comfortable in television. It's just, Matt, don't sit him next or anywhere near Shane Gillis anytime soon, right?
All right, entire season 2 coming out April, May, June. I think you got introduced to Shane Gillis maybe at Notre Dame there, college football playoff. I feel like you thought he was actually taking a shot at your integrity, so you defended yourself. Have you done any more research on Shane, and have you chatted with him or got a chance to catch up with him since then?
Not at all. Not at all. I understand he's a comedian. Obviously, he's much more intimidated by J.J. Watt than he was by me, which is understandable. And I guess you got to live with it. But, we were trying to create value for players, and I think that's why we were able to recruit good players, whether it was how many degrees they got, how many guys went in the NFL, how many guys had careers that were very productive for them, and that's why we got good players. So that speaks for itself, and that's all there is to it. But he was trying to be funny, which I get it. And, my daughter Kristen loves him. So that's kind of soothed the soul a little bit that somebody in our family likes the guy.
Saban had some jokes in that turn too. Yeah, I don't think he would have bothered being called Alabama Jones in a joking way. It's sort of the idea that they bought the championships. I think that's the thing.
Man, Saban doesn't even know that dude breathes air. He doesn't even he could care less. Man, that was funny. Some of those coaches, man, they're not really, they're, if you want to say old school, we were just talking about a guy, Nolan Richardson, like there's a time to joke, but I don't think when you're getting ready for a football game, those coaches they're not in a joking mood 2 hours before kickoff, Phil. That's just not how they operate.
I think it would, Saban immediately, after Gillis said that, started, I don't know how to say the word defending, but it was sort of defending, developing and all of that, and just like he did a moment ago. But it would have really been a great television moment had he not said anything. And if he just would have shot him the stare. The stare that a coach
Samuel L. Jackson.
Yes, that stare.
Hey, you flock of seagulls. Why don't you tell me where you got it hid?
Yeah, Saban wouldn't even need the firearm to frighten somebody in that
I don't remember asking you
That's exactly right. Or like JT in Hot Springs told me, texted earlier, we're talking about Nolan Richardson. He got a look and a shouted at by Coach Richardson when he was an 8th grade player for half-assing it on defense. Those are the moments where you learn your lesson immediately, and all of it. I would have loved to see Saban just shoot daggers at Gillis and then see what happens from that point. The producers could just let it happen. And then the uncomfortableness goes to Gillis because everybody's looking at him at that point. He won't be the last comedian to come on game day again. It's just I'd have a surprise the next time they have Notre Dame. If they ever are doing it, I'm sure at some point they'll be in South Bend again. I wouldn't put Shane Gillis by him, but it sounds like at least Saban's daughter would be great shaking his hand.
That Notre Dame Georgia game, that to me, that's going to be that's going to be a big one. You get Penn State Boise. I don't know, Phil. I don't know how to kind of digest that. If I think Penn State's going to win that game by double digits, Oregon, Ohio State. It's a coin flip game. I think Georgia. Yeah. The thing that when we had Aaron on earlier, when I watched Notre Dame play week 1 of the playoff. I noticed how much speed they have. Like that running back they have runs a 10,500 meters. So what's the knock on Georgia this year? they don't really have a lot of explosive guys on the outside. Dare I say Notre Dame has more athleticism, more speed on the outsides than Georgia?
It'd be pretty interesting, huh? The Penn State-Boise State game, I guess there's a feeling like it's 1 against 22. It's all about Ashton Ginty.
I don't think Boise scores 24 points. So, it's just going to be one of those games where Penn State doesn't turn the ball over, and they're going to stop the run. And, you get 24, 28 points. That should be enough for Penn State to win.
I wonder about Penn State without their crowd in front of them, too. That just seemed to be such a big – I think they're better than SMU. Don't get me wrong. I don't think that's the reason they won, but that to me felt like a reason why, the score got so out of sorts so quickly. You could see that SMU quarterback shaking in his shoes after the second interception, which could have been a pick six, and it led to a third, which was another pick six. But you don't have home – and this is another thing. You wanted to get like big time crowds, and I know you'll get big crowds here, but why is Arizona State playing in Atlanta while Georgia is playing in New Orleans, and yet there's a game being played in Arizona that has teams from Pennsylvania and Idaho? I mean, you already gave in the first round teams a home field advantage. This is supposed to be neutral sites. But if you got to buy into the second round, I understand like that is a legitimate, foot forward ahead of the team you're playing because they had to play 10 days prior. Why not put Arizona State in Phoenix? Why not put Georgia in Atlanta? And I love the idea. The one they got right here, the one that makes the most sense in the world, is Ohio State and Oregon in the Rose Bowl. The Rose Bowl has done everything they possibly can to try to stay as traditional as possible. So they're always going to be on January 1st. They're trying to make sure they stay as close to that. I guess it was a 2 o'clock Pacific kickoff, and they get it again. And then they get their traditional matchup, even though they're two Big Ten teams. But would it have been wrong to have Arizona State playing in Phoenix and Georgia playing in Atlanta? I mean, it's kind of like a home game for them. These are supposed to be neutral sites, but you had a chance. I mean, Georgia, that's practically a home stadium for them anyway.
We played, Phil, we played Georgia in the SEC championship game. I was a sophomore, I believe, up there, and it was a home. I don't know, because we talked about, hey, the home field, they went 4-0. It's a home game for Georgia if they play there, and so I don't know if that makes it fair if you're talking about trying to let it be decided on the field, because, man, it was one of the louder games when we played Georgia in the SEC championship game that you couldn't really hear yourself. It was extremely loud. It was home field advantage for Georgia for sure.
I'll bet, yeah. And you can feel it whenever you're in Athens, but just as often as the Bulldogs play there, and heck, I think they moved the Georgia Tech-Georgia game this year to that stadium as well, just to, bring in a larger crowd. It was supposed to be a Georgia Tech home game, so I'm sure they got most of the gate as far as that was concerned. But who is it that's going to buy the tickets? It's probably mostly Georgia fans. It's just a huge fan base. 877-377-6963. Jesse in Springdale is excited to see Shamar Easter, and he's figuring somebody that's that tall, maybe you're looking at some corner fades. There was something that Sam said yesterday, though, that almost made it seem like he was trying to tamp down a little bit of enthusiasm about Easter. Now, I know he's going to get some snaps, but there was something he said, I think it was if or however many snaps. Just doesn't sound like he'll be, out there all the time unless there's maybe 5 wides. But 6'5", 228. Man, I mean, that's kind of, it's a little bit of the size that you've lacked in terms of wide receivers sometimes. Broden's got the height. Doesn't really catch it so well, and we haven't seen much from Easter in terms of the ability to catch, but he's not far off from your size, Matt. Those corner end zone fades, were you a fan of those?
We had a guy, Marcus Monk he was a receiver, was a freshman, but Richard Smith and George Wilson, we actually called it it's called a bear ass, and it's a back shoulder level 2, but you're giving the inclination that you're running that corner fade, and then you throw it behind them, and man, I bet I bet George, I probably threw 10 touchdown passes on that route right there to George. It's such a tough route when they're worried about the over the top fade, then you sling it right in behind them, and it's 6 points before they knew it. We had a thing with Jason Peters, man. Think about this. We had a 2-point play and a third down play where you do a little motion, but you put Jason Peters out there and just let him go up and big body Robert Tractor Taylor.
Wow. I love the term of what the play is called too, because that's what you were throwing it at, right? You were throwing it at
You're throwing it at the back of the guy's head. If the D back is not looking at the quarterback, then your guy's open, and so he's doing that. He gets him on his hip, and then you throw it behind him, and it's it's tough to timing, man coverage and stuff. It's tough as a D back because you got to worry about a slant. Now you got to worry about a fade. Now you got to worry about a back shoulder. And it all happens so quick down there in the red zone.
I would think he could throw that to Harrison too. He's. I think you're going to see some. I think you're going to see a couple of wide receivers that haven't really done much this year or really gotten all that many snaps that are going to come up with big games today. Again, this is a Texas Tech defense that is mostly intact, and they allowed 305 passing yards per game. Only one other school in the nation in FBS allowed more passing yards per game. Wrapping up our show in just a moment here at the Big Cypress Lodge inside the Memphis Pyramid. Of course, it's Bass Pro Shops now, and we'll come right back, wrap it up right after this.
When Matt Jones and Houston Nutt teams were playing back in the day, if those guys had 4 wins on their record at the end of the season, they still got in there and they beat the tar out of everybody.
This is halftime.
ESPN 95.3 is live on location.
Big C coming to you live from Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11, I-540 in Fort Smith. Over 300 vehicles available, $1,500 trade assistance on every single vehicle on the lot, new or used. State sales tax paid going on right now on their used inventory. Vehicles priced as low as $9,995. No payments for 90 days, guys. Get by here right now. $1,500 in trade assistance. This is available for every single vehicle on the lot. I want to stress that to you. Bring your trade and make sure you get the same return and value. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11, I-540 in Fort Smith. Always online at harryrobinson.com.
The big after Christmas sale is underway at Jelco Outdoors. Check out the huge savings under the porch and throughout the store. Save 50% off select work, hunting, and casual clothing by Ariat, Wrangler, Scentlock, Drake, Browning, Pursuit Gear, and more. Hurry in while the selection is at its best. Don't miss the big Jelco Outdoors 50% off after Christmas sale. Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith. Open New Year's Day, 10 till 5.
'Tis the season for Hardee's handcrafted goodness. Made from scratch buttermilk biscuits pulled fresh from the oven. The return of special traditions like salty sweet candied bacon. And faithful friends like Hardee's cinnamon raisin biscuits gathered near to us and served all day, all season long. From icing drizzled biscuits to savory charbroiled burgers, unwrap the holiday goodness of Hardee's. And now enjoy breakfast till noon. Available for limited time at participating locations. Items may vary.
World-class trout fishing is the star of the show at Gaston's White River Resort, where a few days away from all the worries and stress will make all right in your world. Gaston's has friendly, experienced guides to help you land your limit. Enjoy your stay at Gaston's in one of their private cottages or reserve a lodge for up to 20 people. Call now and let Gaston's help you plan your next getaway on the White River. 870-431-5202. That's 870-431-5202. Or learn more at Gastons.com. Gaston's, a first-class time, every time.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. In my 12 years of practice as a reproductive urologist, I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS. It really wasn't easy before. You had to take time out of your day, come to a physical office, and see a specialist like me in person. Now, through HIMS.com, you can get world-class sexual health care and a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. It starts with a free assessment from a medical provider licensed in your state who can determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. So don't wait. Join the hundreds of thousands of guys who've gotten help for their ED through HIMS.
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit.
Are you tired of the same old smelly gym? Then it's time to try something new. Let's hang out. The Hangout Fitness and Sports is the River Valley's only multi-sport family-friendly facility and boasts a 24-hour gym and indoor courts for tennis and pickleball. Over 8,000 square feet for the gym alone. It's never overcrowded. The Hangout has certified trainers on staff with group personal training available. If HIIT, bar, yoga, or Pilates is your thing, they have them too. Join today and get December free with a 3-month commitment. Fitness, sports, and more. Let's hang out.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3.
It's only what you're you still remember it's gone. You're the songs we playing
Into halftime live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
Well, that's some sneaky music there, played by the one and only Colton 45 Little. I didn't realize that was Kansas. Now, you really did choose this song because the last Liberty Bowl or the last bowl game Arkansas played in, they beat Kansas? Is that why you picked it?
I will not take credit for Matt Jones stating something that's, I should have taken credit for. But no, I played it because they're playing a game tonight, which is the name of the song.
Collaborative effort.
Man, that was your opportunity to take all of the credit, Colton. You gotta learn when somebody might be wrong about this and gives you your opportunity for credit. You got to take it. That's all right though. So what are we going to see tonight? So I was going to look at it. The last time Arkansas played in this bowl, 55 points. That should be enough for a win today, right? Quite honestly, if Brooks plays for Texas Tech, I think both teams will get into the 40s. Arkansas's had some trouble against teams that don't run it sometimes on a consistent basis. What's to say that they're able to stop a team that does run it on a consistent basis? I also think that Tech will be able to move the ball through the air because that's how you've mostly moved it against Arkansas this year. I'm expecting a high-scoring bowl game, Matt, and it should be entertaining, and I think by the end of it, we're all going to be pretty exhausted.
Yeah, your MOP, most outstanding player, who's it going to be? Is it going to be Taylon Green? Is it going to be Rodney Hill? Is it going to be someone on the defense? I don't know, but it's another opportunity to go out there and play the game you love, represent the Razorbacks. And I think you said something about Broden earlier, Phil. This is his last ever game that dude's ever going to play football. He maybe he can go to the CFL or something, but there's nothing ever going to be the same like it was for the Hogs. So, yeah, but he's just one. There's a number of guys that are playing tonight. This is their last time they'll ever suit up and play with their brothers.
That's exactly right. And those are players to be celebrated, specifically guys that have been around.
I'd love to see Broden have 3 touchdown catches. How cool would that be?
And Tesla to come up with a big game today, or just like the right catch at the right time, because he gets his hands on it, he's going to make the catch. Hudson Clark, 6 years at the University of Arkansas. This will be the last game he plays. I did wonder about Eric Gregory opting out, and this would have been his last game as a Razorback. But in 6 years, he chose to opt out. So yeah, and you're right. It isn't ever quite the same when you go play in the pros, whether it's the NFL or whether it's the CFL. It's a different thing. So you don't do bowl games either. So there's not all that pomp and circumstance surrounding the playoff games necessarily. So you got to enjoy this for what it is, which is. Again, is it the end of the season? Is it the start of next season? Or is it just a standalone thing? All I know is this is the game you take into the next few months. There is not, as Matt has pointed out, they're in another Arkansas football game until next year, until the Razorbacks open 2025 against Alabama A&M on August the 30th, and that's a long time off. That's 8 months away. So take this for what it is. It is the last time you'll see Arkansas play football until next August. And whether you've been disappointed in the way that the team has performed this year or proud about it, I know you're a Razorback fan, and I know you're going to be watching. And we'll talk about it on Monday when we reconvene for one of our last days of the year. Matt, hope you enjoy the game tonight. Colton, you too. Always appreciate you guys. And
bring him some good luck, Phil.
I'll do my absolute best as long as I can get to the stadium in time and go to the right place. Now that we get this big hole there in the middle of the stadium, I'm not quite sure where to go. Ruskin and Jack coming up. They are on the air for 2 hours, 3 o'clock, Learfield pregame. Eastside Liquor halftime podcast coming out shortly. And enjoy the game. For Matt Jones, Colton Little, I'm Phil Elson. Thanks for listening. That's halftime. Now get up, get out, and get better.
State sales tax paid now through New Year's Day at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. You heard right. State sales tax paid on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot, but only through New Year's Day. This will save you